Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the earth. And also the brothers that teach us word and sincerity. This is the brother Iowa Lamia from GMS Chicago. Come back at you with the lesson. Basically, part of this lesson, as you see to the brother's video, GMS Vegas sit down, subscribe to the brother's channel. I'm gonna just basically call this lesson a great push, because that he is trying to push his NWO agenda, as brothers always go into. I got a couple of lessons out there, but I'm gonna just play the video and I'm gonna just jump into some precepts because he's trying to push his grain of rice, which is the incision that these devils are going for, which is going to be used, eventually, to bind seal. So I'm gonna play this. Read this actually. It's Habakkuk 2 and 3 is actually on the screen. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Right, talking about the prophecies, that's coming to pass. They're no longer going to tarry. They're going to come to pass. These prophecies. Mainly the grain of rice.
All right, guys, so I felt it in the Holy Spirit. I felt it in the Holy Spirit to do this video. I'm here at Walgreens. So they look like normal shelves, but they're not normal shelves. Every single one of them has infrared scanning sensors right here for your forehead, right? The mark of the beast on your right hand or your forehead. Speak to it. It sees you. Seek to wave. They're made out of super thick metal. If you don't have the mark later on, you won't be able to buy or sell unless you scan your hand on this. Then it's going to open for you. Then it's going to let you get whatever you need. But without the mark of the beast, you won't be able to use these in the future. These lock. Right now, they're not locked, but they do lock. And they're made out of super thick metal with glass.
Yeah, I got a Walgreens over here by where I stay. They're basically implementing the same thing.
You can't even break through them to get food. So again, recap Revelation 13. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on the right hand of their forehead, so that nobody could buy or sell unless they have the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right hand, forehead. And it's going to be like this everywhere. And this is all just the beginning. Certificate of COVID. You won't be able to buy or sell unless you can prove that you're fully. They're going to collapse the economies and then bring in digital currency. The stage is set. They just need that one last social cataclysm to completely collapse the economies and bring.
All right, with this new variant out here, I'm gonna avoid saying the name, but you know what I mean. They're gonna use this, this narrative to ultimately, get, in due time, get rid of paper money, which we're seeing right now. It's fastly approaching. Revelation 13 and 16. Jump into this, from the second Ezra 15, because this is gonna cause, if people was in an uproar about the juice right now, just imagine when this grain of rice get pushed upon everybody. So this is the book of second Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world, woe means the destruction. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. For one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right, talking about what? A civil war. People going up against the. It's going to actually mention in 16, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, if people was in an uproar right now, going against the government because of the Jews, just imagine, when this grain of rice get pushed upon everybody. And this is one of the last few major prophecies before the destruction and downfall of this place, Babylon the Great, which is America, which we're currently living in right now. And this is going to cause a major uproar, globally. And that's when Esau Edom is going to, show, his horns, martial law, different things like that. They're gonna it's gonna come a point, they're gonna hold, it's gonna come to a to a point where they're actually gonna try to capture people, hold people down, to to force this grain of rice in them. you know Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right, martial law. And martial law is going to be a big institution, of them, pushing this grain of rice. you know With that being said, let's go to Revelation 13 and 16. It's the book of Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive. To receive and then to replace it this where I'm gonna just say grain of rice, a grain of rice in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right. And this is going to be the new way of living. This is, this prophecy right here, Revelation 13 and 16, all the way down to the 18th verse. It's basically a big part of the agenda, basically. It don't matter if you're free, free or poor. The most known person in society to the, the base of man. They're going to force it on you, this grain of rice, to basically to order to what, live in society. Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, Salakia, he that had the grain of rice, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Right, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. You're basically going to be excluded, from society. And if you can read it, I believe it's Revelations 14 and 9. If you receive this, grain of rice, you're ultimately destined for destruction. Especially the ones that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not with. You're ultimately going to give in. Verse 18, here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 603 Right. Talking about the I'm gonna just say the RFID. The RFID, they're gonna force it, on the masses of the people. Lord willing, the Lord give us the endurance, a special type of spirit to endure. Even if it means death. Because it talks about not bowing down, some man dying as martyrs, but we want to have that faith, even if it costs us our lives. We endure through it. Lord willing, we're part of those, a part of the righteous. The This is the book of 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right. With this whole thing, they're gonna introduce how they're gonna coin it, the so-called white man, these elites, how they're gonna coin it, they're gonna try to introduce a new way of living. We're in the midst of a so-called pandemic right now. They're gonna introduce this, so-called new way of living, a better way of living, basically. That's how they're going to try to bring that peace and safety. If you ultimately get this grain of rice, you can go back to your daily activities. You can live life, as you once used to. And we know that normal America before Crown Royal, it's not coming back. The Lord is, is bringing this place to a quick end. As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right. Let's continue. Yeah, that was basically it for that one, but continue. I'm going to close out with this one. This is the book of Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right, we know the hour of temptation is when that grain of rice is implemented, globally. That is the hour of temptation. That's the greatest test, to test, your faith. Whether you be for this society or whether you be for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, ultimately. To try them that dwell upon the earth. Right. It's going to try everybody, that dwell upon the earth, And ultimately the Lord is going to have his elect covered. Lord, when we be a part of that number, Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, right? Keeping this truth, following the laws, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability. Being, the most righteous person that we can possibly be, in this land, America. Keeping this truth, fighting for this truth, You know, the Lord is going to fight for us. You know, He's going to put that spirit on us, you know, to endure, you know, this time that's to come upon the planet Earth, the hour of temptation, which is the RFID implemented, you know, globally. You know, and this is what these E's are trying to, you know, these elites, you know, these elites of E, you know, is trying to push. And we're basically in that time right now, you know. So, Lord willing, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect that's around the four corners of the earth. And also the brothers that teach for in sincerity. You know, Lord willing, I hope this is edifying to the brothers, sisters, you know, the hopeful elect that's watching. You know, Lord willing, I hope this is edifying. You know, Lord willing, I'll come back with another lesson soon. Shalom.